sketches.
It's unfortunate because creative collaboration is like one of the most beautiful. Since then, I've witnessed
Yeah,
as one of the
yeah,
most
yeah.
beautiful parts of creation. I think sometimes
It's great when it works, yeah, for sure.
when it works.
I mean, it's just fun to be able to share. It's the same thing as making something by yourself and showing it to the world and going through that process, except like you're doing it with someone. It's shared.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like you just get to do it with your friend and it's like, ah, nice. Like it's
right.
like the same experience but with friends.
With friends,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some shared responsibility. Although I feel like I still end up being the one who pushes
Yeah,
most
right.
of the work.
Well, that's like a really interesting thing about like making stuff and specifically like making sketches and yeah, like group dynamics and stuff and like how there's usually like one person who's like the driving force. Whenever I
Yeah.
see like another group, another sketch group or something, I try to like identify like is this a democratic group or is there one person in here that's like really pushing for stuff? It's interesting. There's advantages and disadvantages.
Well, have you found more so one type than the other?
Um, it depends. So like when I'm looking what I see on the internet,
Mm,
if they're a sketch group that does live stuff as well,
hmm
then they probably are like more of a group.
Okay.
But if you are more on the filmmaking side of it and you don't do live stuff and you're more about like making cinematic type stuff, that's
Right.
usually one person is
Mm,
is pushing it
yeah.
because it takes a lot of trust in one person's vision
Right.
to be able to like, let's get specific shots. This isn't going to make sense while we're filming it.
Yeah.
Trust me when I edit it, like you're not going to
Mm,
get it right away. But then stuff that's more like a group is more like everyone's just sort of making jokes. Everyone in the video is being funny. It's funny while you're filming it.
yeah.
And it's like we all get this and we're
Yeah.
all and it's like they're 100% equally valid types of sketches.
Right. Right. So,
But that's how I identify like, yeah.
well, I was gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Articulate with Scott Bigos today. How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Good?
Yeah. I'm already fucking going. I'm
We're already
into it.
well. That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So,
I love talking about this.
yeah. So you find that you'd like to do the things your way, where it's not necessarily funny while you're doing it, or do you do a little bit of both? Because it seems like it'd be fun. From the sketches I've seen, they seem like they'd be fun.
Well,
to do.
I think that's the illusion that we're
Okay.
trying to cultivate.
Yeah.
You want it to look like it's this effortless, fun thing. You want it to look like we're all just friends hanging out.
Right.
But like, if you're there while we're filming, it's business.
It's
like,
intense.
because it's like we got a lot of shots to get through, and you don't have that much time or whatever. Like everything takes longer than you think.
Yeah.
So I make like a full
Well,
shot.
the editing for sure.
I mean,
takes
editing
so
too.
long, yeah.
The day of filming, I generally have like a full shot list.
Oh wow.
And like everything is scheduled. We're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this. And like it can be fun. We can have laughs like at certain takes and the way people do certain things.
Yeah.
But there's no like there's almost never like an idea that like people are throwing out day of.
Yeah.
Like while we're filming, oh, it would be funny if this happened. Because normally it's like, yeah, I guess that would be funny, but it like takes away from like the bigger vision of it.
Yeah.
It's very rare that someone can suggest an idea that also works with the full vision.
Right.
Whereas
right.
like there's a different type of sketch that is just like, characters in a situation and everyone's making jokes.
Yeah.
Then I can see those kinds of sketches, people being like throwing out jokes the day of while
Right.
they're filming and being like, that's funny, let's throw that in, let's throw that in. Yeah. So it's different types of sketches. It depends on like I make like highly edited stuff.
Right. Well, and again, you're kind of the powerhouse behind all of it.
Yeah.
So, and we're talking about CheeseParade.
CheeseParade.
Yeah. Right? CheeseParade TV. But yeah, if you're the one coming up with the sketches in the first place, and you're now on this tight schedule to release sketches, it's not that you wouldn't want to fuck around. It's just like you're kind of keeping yourself disciplined enough to not fuck around.
Exactly, yeah. And trying to just like not waste anyone else's time.
Right, yeah.
A lot of times it's like, people are volunteering to be in these sketches. So I'm just like, let's get them filmed and get it done as quickly as possible. And
Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger things that like stand-ups sometimes that haven't done any film work don't really realize. Like, oh, let's all get together and do this sketch. And then it's like, oh, this is going to take more than the 5 minute of us fucking around. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
It's going to take a day.
Yes.
Maybe 6 hours and we got to have lunch or something.
Yeah. I find stand-ups doing sketches to be really interesting. Oh, another aspect of like this goes with that thought.
Okay.
A group of people versus a group of people where it's democratic versus a group of people where
Oh,
one
right.
person's in charge.
Mhm.
And then also like stand-ups doing sketches. It's the concept of like a pitchable idea.
Mm.
So like if it's a democratic group, then the only ideas that get made are ideas that can be successfully pitched to people that are going to
True.
make sense to people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about stand-ups is they think of things in terms of like what's funny when I explain it, what's funny when I say it, what's
Right.
making us laugh right now.
Yeah.
And it that like makes a certain type of sketch, and it's not bad or anything, but when there's one person in charge, you can make stuff that's crazier
Yeah.
because like this idea is not going to work when I explain it to you. Like if it was funny when I explained it, then it would be a stand-up joke, and it's not. It's a
Right.
sketch,
Yeah.
and you really need to understand what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
And it's like if you were in a group, maybe it would be really hard to like get certain sketches made because it's like, no, you guys just need to understand what I'm saying. And they're like, no, we're going to go with this other idea because it's funny to us right now.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it's a different kind of sketch.
A different kind of funny too.
It's a different kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're both valid, but it's just like, there's definitely the ability to like envision something being funny that can't necessarily be explained with
That's
words.
funny. Yeah. Yeah.
But then still being able to rally people together to make it. That's like my biggest achievement is like getting that trust from my friends.
Right. And you have to build that.
Yeah, it's really hard to build, but then once you get it, it's great. Where I'm like, I can like half explain an idea, and they're just like, I kind of see the concept, whatever, but we're gonna fucking just trust you, and we're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
but
No, that's fair.
but it's cool. It's the only way to get like truly weird stuff, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like so in a similar sense with film, right? Like if you have a script that you see perfectly in your head and it works amazingly.
Yeah.
First of all, that's your taste. And then also people that read the script aren't going to be able to envision exactly what so at that point you have to be a salesperson too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to sell that idea. And if you're not, so then you're missing out on these potentially amazing visions that just weren't able to get past the articulation process,
there is some truth to like it needs to be good on paper to be good in film.
That's true.
But then but with comedy especially,
Right.
there's definitely this like visual aspect of it where like say you're making fun of say you're doing a sketch that makes fun of a sports movie, and it's like a guy making an inspirational speech. And it's important to understand that it's going to look and feel like an inspirational sports movie.
Right.
It's important to understand that this certain music is playing.
Right.
That's like half of the joke is that this sappy song is playing in the background.
Like the college one.
We're about to go blast off for Jupiter. You coming with?
No,
What do you mean no?
I'm going to college.
Yes.
And then the drone shot comes up.
Yes.
Yeah, I
The
saw
song.
that. And the music, right?
Yes.
It makes it a satire at that
Yes,
point.
exactly.
And it might not have been clear that it was a satire on paper.
I would not have made that sketch if not for that song.
Right.
That song inspired the sketch, literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's a perfect example.
Yeah. So with YouTube, are you allowed to use songs, and do you have to worry about copyright stuff?
If it's under a minute, you can do whatever you want, kind of. Yeah, it's like their shorts policy.
Yeah.
And then if it's over a minute, then they have their own bank of songs, and then there's like you can split revenue. So like you can use copyrighted stuff in
You don't have
longer
a score
videos.
person or anything making it for you.
No, I use stock music. That's like
Okay.
my biggest. That's something I talk about constantly.
Stock music?
Yeah. When it comes to like making sketches, like comedy sketches, and the way that I do, stock music is super key. It like brings a certain emotional tone immediately. If you're gonna have a character get like super sad about something, it's funny when when like that sad music comes in.
Right.
There's a lot of great stock songs where like the first 2 seconds of the song immediately tells the audience how to feel.
How to feel.
So a lot of times the song coming in is the joke.
And it's usually familiar with stock. It's like I've probably heard this, in a corporate ad or something.
That's
before.
literally why it's good, is
Yeah.
because it's familiar.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because we're seeing something familiar in a different silly context.
Right.
Like, oh, I normally see this in a very serious context,
Yeah.
and now it's in a ridiculous one.
Yeah, an insane one.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, did you have like a background in film school or acting? Or
Yeah,
anything like
I
that?
went to Temple Film School.
Okay.
So
What made you? In high school? Did you do stuff as well
yeah, so I started making videos
as a baby?
As a baby, no. In middle school
Okay.
is when it really started as like a skateboarder, like
Okay.
filming skateboarding.
Oh, so you're a Spike Jones of sorts.
Yeah, actually, not really, but I will say Spike Jonze's skate video, "Yeah, Right," is like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If anyone knows skate videos, they know that that's like an all-time classic.
Of course.
And then in high school, it would be like whenever there was a project where making a video was like one of the options, it would be like that's the one that my friends and I would do.
Right.
And like I wasn't even like the main driving force at that point. There was like this other kid in our group, Connor. Shout out Connor.
I was gonna say, where is he now?
Yeah, he was like teaching me how to edit. And I was doing that, and I knew I was really into it. And it was one of those things where like I think I was like afraid to pursue it as a career because it felt so much like a dream,
It's very abstract.
It's yeah, like I'm gonna pursue film. It's like, who do you think you are? You're gonna be a director kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, so first year of college, I like went for like gen ed stuff and like wasn't really committed to it. And then some of my friends were transferring to Temple, and I knew Temple had a film program, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna be like, I was like, if I really believe that I can do it, then like it's so stupid to not do it.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of thing.
For sure. And you're just
Yeah.
wasting your time doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. College, you went to film school for it. And did you know, again, at that point that you kind of wanted to be a creative director? Or were you still feeling out what part of the film process you liked?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be I was always like writing was like the main thing.
Right. And so, yeah, where did the stand-up come in, too?
Oh, right. So the one movie that inspired me, just to throw this out there, was Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
Which is like it's like a horror comedy.
Yeah. Take Evil Dead 1, but make it hilarious and 10 times better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like really extreme, and it's just fun. And it is a good example of like using filmmaking as like a comedy tool instead of it's a comedy, but it's not like the characters are saying punchlines. It's not like the characters are being funny. The characters are being very serious in the
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
So it's like that was just like kind of an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I always like thought writing was the most fun because I thought that was the most creative part. And then directing because, if I write something, then I want it to be made in my way, and then I'm going to edit because I want it to be, and then it's just like having control over what I write, essentially. So like writing to me has always been the main thing.
Right.
And yeah, I always kind of felt like, even in college, I like kind of had the realization that I felt more like a comedian who was just like using film instead of like a lot of people in film school like really loved film.
Yeah.
And like filmmaking was like their main passion.
Right.
And I was like, filmmaking, I think, is kind of like a tool.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like, this has been said by other people in better ways, but like, if filmmaking is your only passion, then you're just going to make films about filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like, it is just a tool. You need
Mm,
something else to channel through it.
right.
So,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. For
yeah.
sure.
So, like, I was always like, okay, I'm a comedian and I'm learning filmmaking just as a way to express
The comedy.
the comedy.
The funny. Yeah.
Yeah. But I never like called myself a comedian really because I never did stand up or anything. And the stand up didn't come until really years later, like late 20s. Like maybe I did it my first time, like early 20s. And I would do it like every few months, once a year,
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah,
do it
yeah.
ever. Yeah. Like I dabbled in it.
Right.
And then eventually I was like disillusioned with having to gather people, getting people rallied up around
Kinda
my
like we were
ideas.
talking about.
Yeah, what we were talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
like getting people rallied up around an idea
having
is
to be
hard.
a salesperson.
Yes, when you don't have the track record, it's extremely hard. Like,
Yeah.
I specifically remember, like, emailing scripts to my friends, texting my friends, asking them to be in things, and, like, them not getting back to me
Right.
and stuff like that. And they were,
Yeah.
like, my best friends, you know, who were always in stuff with me.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, it took a lot out of me. It, like, set me back years.
Well, you're putting yourself out there to be.
Yeah,
like, it's very
100%.
vulnerable.
Like, this
place
is
to
my
be.
thing. Do you guys want to be in my thing?
Yeah.
And then, like, no one responds. And it's like, well, they don't want to be in it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to.
So instead, you
Yeah.
did stand up where you get that shut down immediately when you bomb.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
right.
stand up, it's all on you. There's no asking anyone.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like doing it yourself.
It's telling people and then people telling you that you're not funny.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Stand up is great because like the final product is right there.
It's-
Like
it's
you
great.
go up, you think of an idea, and you go up and you deliver something. And if that's not the final product, it's an iteration of it, and it's
For
just
sure.
so like singular.
It is. It
I
really
do
is.
love that
I think
about
it's
it.
the most pure form of art in a sense because you're writing it, performing it,
Yeah.
directing it in a sense. Like, yeah, all of it.
It's very like stripped down in that way.
Yeah. yeah.
I would say that other forms of art can also all be that.
Hmm.
I mean, like a musician can still record all themselves and do all
And
the
write
mixing
it
themselves
all.
and write it all themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of rare.
And then
Stand
they're
up
usually
is like
performing it as
Exactly.
well too. Yeah, in front of people.
stand up is just like always that. You know, it's always
All the time.
yeah, it's always that all the time.
So yeah, so you started doing the stand up and got a little disillusioned with having other people.
I was disillusioned with the sketches, and I
Yeah.
started doing the stand up. I'm trying to remember like the exact.
Order of operation.
Yeah, the exact order of operations. Because there was a big clicking moment. I filmed one sketch that was really hard to get people to film. And then I eventually filmed it. And I didn't even, it was the one where I introduced Cheese Man, our mascot.
Yeah.
And like
He's
that
handcuffed.
just sat on my computer for like a year. Didn't even fucking upload it. Meanwhile, another thing that my friend Brian and I did, who's like my main actor guy, and he also like helps get people. He's a huge help. Me and him would do this thing on Halloween where we go out and do street interviews, and we interview people in their Halloween costumes as if they are their character.
Okay.
And this was like the first thing I ever made that got online traction.
Oh, okay.
And that was like way before the CheeseParade stuff, any of the other stuff took off. And then I was like uploading those Halloween videos, and the page was getting some momentum from that. And then I had that old Cheese Man video. So I just uploaded that, and it like went off. And I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, okay, now we have to do this every week.
Yeah. Now we are cheese.
I was like, if
Parade.
I was like, I'm gonna try to do this every week unless this success like completely drops off.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing this every week now.
So yeah, so
And it hasn't stopped
So the
since then.
Halloween stuff got a little traction, and then the Cheese Man sketch took off, and in that,
not even like.
oh, I was gonna say,
Oh no,
it wasn't.
it did take off, but not even like to the stratosphere or anything. It just did well enough to justify continuing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool,
It was like
yeah.
I got to keep going.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna ask if at that point, once you have, so was the balloon one the first one that kind of really blew up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, really blew up.
Really,
You know?
really? Yeah.
So what's interesting is that there's different tiers of
Oh,
blowing up,
blowing up. Yeah.
and like you learn that
Mm,
every time you reach the next tier, you're like, whoa, like this is a different thing.
yeah.
So like the first time I went viral was 2016 for the Halloween stuff.
Okay.
And that was like 200,000 people, 300,000 people saw it. I
That's
mean, this
pretty
was like before I was on TikTok or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like this is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was viral.
It is not. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
that's
viral to me.
Right.
And then I eventually got on TikTok because, well, during the Halloween videos, I also made this 15-minute compilation of really short sketches, and just put them on YouTube, and it got no traction at all.
Mm.
It got nothing.
Sad.
This was like before.
This is like right after you get that 200,000
Yeah, right.
views, and you're
No,
like, oh.
And that really slowed me down a lot,
It
honestly.
takes the wind out. Again, putting yourself out there, being
Yeah.
vulnerable and getting shut down.
And it took a lot to make it. And these were all like widescreen shorts too. This was before I was doing anything vertically shot.
Yeah.
And then my friend Benny Feldman, shout out comedian Benny Feldman, was like, you got to get on TikTok. TikTok's your thing. Like, you're going to thrive on there. And he was so right. I like started taking these old sketches I did and repurposing them for TikTok, re-editing them. And like, what's interesting is I would like I uploaded some like original edits of it, and then I would upload some re-edits of sketches. So I kind of like learned by just like re-editing the same sketches. I like learned like the tricks
to
of
make it fun.
like how to like treat people's brains, like cut out all the fat, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was
yeah,
like the
yeah.
main lesson.
Yeah,
So
that's kind
like
of the fun part. In my, sometimes with this, you know, taking an hour-long thing and getting less than a minute down.
yeah, I
And it's like,
agree.
what is the the funniest thing that I
Yeah.
can make of this? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And like really landing on like what that first image is and
True.
like what am I gonna like hit people with right out of the gate,
Yeah.
and like figuring out what's gonna make people stop scrolling, like
Right.
which image is gonna make people stop scrolling.
And that's why having female guests is always better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would never stop scrolling for this. I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't give a fuck.
Pretty cute. Don't worry.
Oh, great. Yeah, so I learned that from TikTok. Anyway, yeah. So, and then, all right. So that was like the next tier of viral was re-uploading those sketches. It was specifically this government drone sketch where it's just kids hanging out, and then a drone comes down, and the drone has a voice, and he goes, "Hey, this is the government. Is this conversation about overthrowing the government?" And then all the kids are like, "No, government, fuck off." And he goes, "Okay." It's just like a 15-second thing.
Yeah.
Which did have a little joke before the drone came in, and cutting that out was the difference between 1,000 views and 2 million.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
just get to the main joke.
Just get to the
Yeah.
to the meat of it. I mean, I learned that in stand up too. A lot
Yeah.
of the time, you know, you go up there and ramble for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you cut that down to literally a sentence, and
Yeah.
and it kills.
And it's so much tighter and better.
Yeah.
It's cool how cutting okay stuff makes the good stuff great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you have an okay joke and a good joke, if you cut the okay joke, the good joke might be great now.
Yeah,
Like
right,
if it's
right.
just because now it's just like this wholly unique thought.
Yeah.
It like reframes it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, kind of like the sketch. for
Exactly.
sure. Yeah.
So that was like 2 million views, which I was like, this is viral. This
Yeah.
is the new viral.
You're famous now.
Yeah, this is exactly. And then we would have some videos that got like 5 million, you know, and then one got like 10 million. And that was like a big one. It was like Cheese Man on a Bridge. I'm trying to remember like specifically which ones like brought us to the next thresholds. But we would have like one that got 10 million, another one that got 10 million. And that felt like, all right, this is as viral as something can go.
And at this point, where are you at in life? Like, are you still?
This is like 2 years ago now.
Okay.
This is probably like, yeah, I'm trying to think. So it's been like 2.5 years of making a sketch every week.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you know, I'm curious, like how you survived, right?
oh yeah, wedding videography.
Oh, really?
That's the trick.
Okay, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, just videoing
Who
weddings.
would've fucking-
Yeah,
who
so
would've
like,
thought?
because all the gear I buy for wedding videos is also gear that can be used for making sketches.
Yeah, you just write it off.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And it's like you get a ton of free time. Like,
That's awesome.
it was like the perfect amount to survive. Like, if you're trying to live off it for the rest of your life, then you need to like build a whole business around it.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get better at filmmaking as an art because you really want to make a career out of that, then wedding videography is a great way to like do creative stuff while also surviving.
Yeah.
Because it is like you can keep investing in equipment and also have free time and make just enough to survive. Like you're going to have to live with roommates. You're going to have to,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like
You're
you're
gonna
going to
eat
have
tuna.
to not spend money on anything else. But like, I'm good at that, like
Yeah.
being cheap and shit.
I can eat beans. I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm living off weddings.
Okay.
This is where I am in my life.
Yeah.
I did wedding videography for like 10 years. So like I'm 34 now. This is the first year. This right now is the first wedding season where I have not been filming weddings
Oh, wow.
since like 2015 or something. Yeah.
Damn. Does it feel good?
It
Feel
feels
nice?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Like especially now, like today, for context, it's extremely hot outside.
So hot.
So like
We're going to be sweating.
when there's weekends where it's like super hot out, I'm like, damn, dude, I would be filming a wedding right now, and it would
Yeah.
be the worst because I have to be wearing all black and like holding a camera.
Yeah. That'd be a
Um,
funny sketch. Just
yeah.
a camera guy just drenched in sweat.
yeah, it would be terrible. I would love to do some wedding stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
always
wedding material.
requires a bit of a budget, I think,
For sure,
to
yeah.
mimic it.
Right. So
Um,
10 millions.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm cruising at 10 millions, and that's like The government drone video was a repurposed old video. And then only like a little bit later did I start doing a sketch every week. And those were all kind of getting, maybe there's a 1 million there, maybe there's like a couple 100,000s, and then a 10 million, and it's like Cheese Man on a bridge, and there's another 10 million, and it's this Tetris bit that was actually a repurposed comic of one of my friends, Morgan.
That was a good
Shout out
graphic
to
in
Morgan.
the Tetris.
Yeah, he also did the graphics for it. So Morgan is like a guy kind of like who contributes a lot in the sense that he makes comics, and every once in a while, twice now, I've taken one of his comics and been like, I'm just gonna film this, and like,
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, like we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And whenever there's like more intense After Effects stuff, he's like really good at that.
Nice. Like the girl getting into the Blue's Clues. TV
I
show
actually did that.
Oh, you did that one? That was good. That was impressed
thanks.
me. Yeah.
That one's actually a little more simple than you might think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just PNG. Like,
Yeah. I just freeze framed her, cut out the background, spun her around.
That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Anything that requires After Effects, that's what I need to
Right.
bring him in. So yeah, I was hovering around 10 million for a while, and then it wasn't until about a year and 3 months ago now that Balloon Boys hit. And that was like, if this balloon touches the ground, we all die, is the premise of the video, you know, and then it like goes off the rails from there. But just that like sentence, if this balloon touches the ground, we all die.
Yeah.
I kind of like knew when I like remembered that. I was at a birthday party and I was going up to people like, you guys remember if this balloon touches the ground, we all die? And I was just like, this is definitely something.
Yeah.
Because like it starts and already there's stakes.
It's familiar. There's stakes.
There's stakes. It's like
Simple.
from your childhood. It's
Yeah.
simple. Yeah.
Oh, it's a deep memory too. That's
All of
important.
our most highest performing sketches have been something related to childhood.
Well, that's what I noticed
Yeah.
that you do a lot. It seems like you do try and pull old games and old memories.
Yes.
You even put some like old home videos of yourself.
Yeah. And
I
one
was
of
like,
them.
damn, that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. That one's like not even a joke. That one's just like kind of
like,
playing
I got
around
to
with
go
the
under.
parachute thing. Yeah.
It's not even a joke. That was therapy for you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But that one got like 55 million views on YouTube. And
Mm.
most importantly, that was the first one to break through on YouTube.
Mhm.
So everything else was doing well on Instagram and
Yeah.
TikTok.
It's funny because TikTok follows is like you half that.
Yes.
For like the amount of Instagram follows that you might get from that.
Yep.
And then like even a third of that
Yes.
for YouTube.
100%. And their value works that way as well.
Right.
A YouTube subscriber is worth so much more than a TikTok. A TikTok follower essentially is nothing. It's essentially useless.
If you watch his TikTok, you fucking are dirt. You're
no,
nothing.
I'm just saying like
No, I know what you mean. It's like a cent.
it doesn't well, I just mean like the way followers work.
Yeah.
Like if I upload a video to an account with 1 million followers on TikTok, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot of people are going to see it. It actually doesn't mean it at all.
Yeah.
Like it truly doesn't matter. I think when you look at somebody's TikTok followers, it's more of an indication of how many videos have done well in the past,
Okay.
but it's like not an indication of how well a future video will do.
Right.
Like I sincerely believe if you upload the same video, one to a new account and one to an account with 1 million TikTok followers, it's like no difference.
Wow.
It's actually just like
It's-
how well the individual video
Which
does.
is, kind of encouraging for people with no followers. you know?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
TikTok will give you the earliest indication
Mm,
of success.
right.
So you definitely want to use it. It'll tell you which of your videos are good right away.
Yeah.
Like you might upload a really good video to YouTube Shorts, and if you don't have any kind of following or anything, or you've never uploaded anything before, it's not necessarily going to reward you.
Mm,
But TikTok might.
mm.
And then once one video broke through on YouTube, it kind of like sent a wave through the backlog.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like YouTube recognized like, oh, all of these videos now.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
it was really like that was a huge deal. So it was
Yeah.
like all of the last, year and a half of work at that point
Yeah.
was like getting the YouTube recognition.
Right.
And it was like since the new video Bloom Boys went viral enough to get the channel monetized,
Mm.
it was like almost was like good that nothing had gone viral before that.
Yeah.
You know, because
then
it was
all
like now I
starts-
got these fresh views, and
Yeah.
now they're actually counting for something.
Right. That's what Lemaire said to me actually too. He's like, just work on the quality and
Yeah.
and then keep the quantity up as much as you can.
Yeah.
So that way, when you do blow up, if which if you keep at it, you will.
Yeah.
Then they'll have so much more to love about you, to subscribe to
Yes.
just more content to sift through.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that should be the thing that you focus on if you're not seeing the immediate like blowing up or whatever. Is just like you should just think like if I did blow up right now and somebody went to my backlog, like what would they think about that?
Yeah.
So you just want a backlog that looks so undeniable.
Yeah.
Where like when they go to it, they're going to be like, "Holy shit, all of this is good," especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So you always I hated that. Where it's like, okay, I got to upload this to TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels.
yeah,
and
it's so
like,
annoying.
yeah, it's
I've actually now like I still do TikTok, but I like to use a fake gun a lot in my videos. I
Yeah.
love using a gun, and TikTok hates that.
Yeah.
So like I skip TikTok very often. TikTok
I love
TikTok
it.
and Instagram are TikTok's monetized if the video is over a minute. But it also needs to get so many views to get money from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually don't give a shit about TikTok. I was kind of wanting it to get banned, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that'll make more people go to YouTube,
Yeah,
where like
yeah, yeah.
they actually pay like really well. So
Oh, wow.
Instagram was paying for Reels, and now it doesn't even pay for Reels anymore. So I kind of don't give a shit about Instagram
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
Instagram's more just for like the community around it.
Right.
Like it's
right.
cool that like
Well, it's
people
for
in
stand-up,
Philly.
too.
Yeah,
People in
exactly.
Philly.
When I
Yeah.
look at like Instagram comments, I'm like, these are like people in the Philly area. These are like people I know personally.
Right. Right.
You know, and the YouTube comments, that's like America. It's like the
That's
world.
America.
Yeah, it's like everybody.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: what's cool about YouTube comments and the YouTube community in general, and just the way that YouTube subscribers work, is that the YouTube comments are like from CheeseParade fans. If a video goes viral on TikTok, it's like being shown to random people who have never heard of my channel before.
And they're just approaching it with no
and
context.
they're just seeing it with no context, and they don't know what the hell it is. And then Instagram's like a little bit of a mix. There's people who know about CheeseParade, and then there's like random people.
Yeah.
But like YouTube, when I read the comments, I'm like, these are people who are like referencing old videos I've done. Like they understand
Fans.
what this channel is. Yeah. And
Right.
like that, it's a channel. And like they'll give a video much more of a chance. Maybe the video is not funny in the first frame, but they
Right.
understand that, oh, this is CheeseParade. This is a sketch comedy channel, you know?
Yeah.
They understand what they're watching a lot more.
Yeah, that probably honestly helps motivate you to keep up with your discipline so much. Just having fans that
Yeah.
actually enjoy your stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially because on, I'll say like YouTube specifically, I would only interact in the comments by saying new sketch every Monday. I would say thanks, new sketch every Monday to like whatever comments, especially to like really outlandish, crazy comments. I would just go, it just
As a
became,
bit.
it became funny to just be like, thanks, new sketch every Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would pin any comment that was like, I love this channel. And I would say, thanks, new sketch every Monday. And now all of the YouTube commenters like make jokes about new sketch every Monday.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
nice.
they're just like,
Picking up
wow,
on it.
you know, I can't believe Cheeseman, like if Cheeseman kills someone, it's like, oh no, Cheeseman killed that guy. He won't be able to see a new sketch every Monday. You know, so
Yeah.
that's cool to see. Like it became like a community thing, and the fact that it literally is my upload schedule.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now I can't miss Monday. Like I can't miss it. It's now my whole thing.
It's your whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
So how does that
Uh,
just a week for you? Like,
yeah.
do you have a backlog of ideas?
I have like a bunch of ideas, but sometimes I have like a backlog of like 2 ideas, 3 ideas that I'm definitely making.
Oh, dude, the Who podcast is so good too. The
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
podcast-
thanks.
Yeah, so
Yeah, thanks.
There
Yeah.
was Whopocalypse Now,
Yeah.
Platoon,
Yeah.
and then it's still Full Metal Jacket, but it's Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. That was actually, so Chris Barnes is another guy who makes sketches in New York, and he reached out to me because we had done a Grinch podcast. And he was like, I could be a Who from Whoville. I could be Charlie from that other fucking...
Chocolate Factory.
No. What's the other... what's the Uncanny Valley Christmas movie where Tom Hanks is animated and he looks
no.
weird?
Oh, Polar Express.
Polar Express. Yeah, he was like, I could be the kid from Polar Express. I chose Who from Whoville, but like...
Okay.
That was fun. Those are good, like, especially like that's how I don't miss like Christmas, you know, I can still stay on the same upload schedule.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh, we'll have a character come in, I'll do a fake podcast, get 3 clips, and like
Oh.
that's 3 sketches in December.
Yeah.
You know?
It must be so nice only I mean, obviously there's still a lot of work that goes into each video.
Yeah.
But having to only, upload something that's maybe a minute long
Yeah,
is
right.
once a week probably
Yeah.
is so I'm doing an hour. I'm trying to push
Yeah.
an hour every week.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. But you do want to the shorter it is, it's like the more effort I want to put into it.
Right.
You know? So it's like you just raise everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, if it's only going to be 30 seconds, then it better be fucking
High production
high
value.
production value for
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice though. I will say that. So I have like a couple backlogged ideas, but nothing really exciting me. Nothing that I could make this week. So this is actually one of the instances right now where it's Tuesday right now,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what Mondays is going to be, like what Monday's sketch is going to be.
Yeah.
I will probably come up with it tomorrow,
Mm.
maybe tonight. I'll probably go through my backlog of ideas. Like if worst case scenario comes, I'll like pick an idea that I didn't think was good enough and like start trying to think of ways to make it good enough.
Right. Do you take Mondays off generally?
Generally Mondays I take off, yeah.
Cool.
I'm usually exhausted on Mondays. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
normally the normal schedule has been film on Sunday,
Okay.
edit all night Sunday night, upload Monday morning.
Oh wow.
And like
Damn.
the rest of the week is just planning for that Sunday.
Yeah.
But the
Dang.
last few weeks I have been able to get ahead of it, and like we filmed on a Friday, we filmed on a Wednesday.
Let's go.
I know, it's great.
3 days in advance.
It took like it's taken a lot to like get ahead of it like that, because
Yeah.
it is really hard. But this week is probably going to be another close
Yeah,
call.
Sunday. Yeah.
No, I love when I don't film on Sunday, but that is generally what we do because everyone's free on Sunday generally
True.
too. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do this week, but
So
figure it
you
out.
get a lot of ideas just from going back in your memory, like from
Yes.
kids. For
oh well, that's like
kids games and stuff.
that's been like a more recent thing because I looked at I mean, why don't I here, I'll bring up my like most watched. It's really interesting actually to look at
I did like the testing the YouTube's community violation guidelines.
Oh, nice.
That's such a good sketch.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. So
He's like, he's cheese.
yeah.
It was just shoot more holes in him.
That was a legitimate test. That was like the first time we used a gun in a video. Once I like learned that I could use guns in YouTube videos, I was like, it's just so fun. Because it's also like a unique advantage that CheeseParade has is that we don't care about TikTok.
Mm,
And so no other sketch group uses guns
okay.
because like they want to be on TikTok. Like they don't want to get banned. TikTok's like their main bread and butter. So
Right.
for me, it's YouTube, and YouTube doesn't give a shit about guns. So I'm fucking using a gun.
I'm using a gun. Yeah.
Because like it's such a shocking thing to see.
It
and,
heightens
like,
everything.
Exactly, it raises the stakes.
are so high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I look at my top viewed videos and just look at them down, like the top video is a balloon can't touch the ground video.
Right.
Then it's another balloon can't touch the ground. Then it's a duck duck goose
The
video.
Duck Duck Goose one's so
Then it's a Play-Doh video, and then it's a video about the parachute in gym class.
right.
Then it's a video about Crazy Daisy, the sprinkler.
Okay.
From when you're a kid.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
it's another balloon can't touch the ground, another balloon can't touch the ground. Then it's one about Tetris. Then
Which is-
so
yeah.
it takes that far to get to the first video that isn't like a reference to childhood.
Yeah.
So
Obviously, there's
my
something
top
very
10
deep
videos of all
going
time.
on with that.
yeah, there's something about, and then after that, there's like a few more that have like childhood references.
Now, do you
but,
go
like,
hang out with kids for fun? Just to...
No, but I will say this: if there are any children who want to be in videos, I do have ideas that like would use kids.
Okay.
But it's like impossible to get a kid to be in a video because it's always like
There's guidelines. We have to feed
there's
them.
guidelines. Yes,
Yeah.
there's lots of guidelines. There's lots of like. There's always people who are like, oh no, I can get a kid. Like we'll go, and then I'm like, but show the parents my channel.
Right. First.
Like yeah, like once they see it, they're just gonna be like, no.
Yeah. You just got to find a cool kid. I think.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
one cool kid that has other cool kid friends.
Yeah.
And then
I should go undercover. In
we'll give them
elementary
weed,
school.
you know?
Yeah.
Then they'll really want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
hang
get them
out.
hooked
Yeah.
on drugs and alcohol.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so that's definitely been like a once I realized that references to childhood like that were the ones that were taking off.
Yeah.
It did sort of make me like go back in
And
my
tr-
head
yeah,
and be
and
like
try to-
okay, wait, what else is there?
Yeah,
you know,
just
like
running through middle
what is
school.
like this? Yeah. What
Yeah.
is like balloon can't touch the ground? Like what? Like the floor is lava is a big one that like we haven't touched.
Yeah, untouched.
Yeah, but it's more
That's a pretty basic.
exactly.
Yeah,
it's more
yeah,
touched
yeah.
in general by other people.
It's been touched.
It's been touched quite a bit.
Which won't happen to your children.
Yeah, if you work for CheeseParade.
If you
yeah.
work for CheeseParade.
Balloon can't touch the ground though. I literally have never seen. I never saw anyone bring that up. So that's why it was like, it's the balance between something everyone remembers and something that is untapped.
Yeah.
I haven't seen so much as a tweet about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for
like
sure.
no
I
one's
agree.
talked about it.
What about those like weird quirks that happened in like 7th and 8th grade where people would like, play those games where, I don't know, like rubber bands, shit
Yes.
with rubber bands.
Wasps? Did you call them wasps?
Yes, the wasps.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
See,
Or,
it's
like,
important that we both called them wasps.
wasps,
I don't know,
right.
where'd you grow up?
Ohio.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I grew up around PA, so
Yeah.
that means it's
Just
an
the
American
suburban-
thing.
yeah, it's an American thing.
Wasps.
Also, getting a school bus would just be such a good
Oh my
set.
God, yeah,
would be
yeah,
because
yeah.
you could do so many like the amount of shenanigans that happens on the bus.
So
too.
true.
Yeah.
And so there's this other sketch group that we actually recently like did a video about called American High Shorts.
Okay.
They're not really a group; they're actually a production company.
Oh, I saw you
Yeah, we
called them
like
out.
kidnapped one of their guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because he just wanted to collab with us.
Yeah.
But they're a production company that just owns a high school.
Holy
and
shit.
that's actually what that is. And they have like this, they just have a cast of kids, not even kids, they're all in their 20s, like
They're all
making
legal.
sketches. Yeah. And they make, that's all they're doing is just using the fact that they have access to a high school and have access to a bus.
Yeah.
It's like, how many shorts can we make? And they're pumping them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, bus would be great. Wasps, that is a good, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's some kind of memory for sure.
Yeah. School lunches. You could go through it. You could literally. What you should do is rehearse like a school day as a kid. Just like
Yeah.
you know how like a Nathan Fielder, the rehearsal type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
set up a school day and you act like you're a
Oh,
kid.
that'd be
The
great.
cartons of milk. There's just so many nostalgic
mean,
things.
It is one of those things where it's like, if I had access to a school.
Right. Yeah, I'm throwing out all these things.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
your
yeah.
production value is like insane, but
It is, and it's just the location. It's crazy. It's crazy how valuable a location can be.
So, is there anything that? Well, first of all, how does it feel to be a creative director and like have full control at this point, and then see it become successful? You know.
I mean, it's great. It's amazing. The fact that I live off it is like a dream come true.
Yeah,
It's like the dream come true.
it is the dream.
It's literally
there's
the
no
dream.
boss. You're the boss.
It's amazing.
You do every part of it.
There's no like level higher than this that is gonna feel like as good as this level felt to get
Right.
to. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like I plan and hope to like make a lot of money, have a studio, do all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
right now I'm still like living with roommates.
That's where it gets complex.
I'm looking to buy stuff. Yeah, it's going to get complex. Exactly. There's going to be downsides with every next step.
Yep.
But like the first step of like, I don't have to do weddings. All I have to think about
Is
is
the
making sketches.
Yeah.
That is like, I don't expect any other step to feel as good as getting to that step. Like that was a really big one.
Yeah, and you could just stay here in this
100%.
step for as long as you really want to.
Yes. It's not 100% sustainable.
Yeah.
Because I do need to like eventually save for retirement and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm now making enough money that I'm saving some money so that I can get a studio. Like I want to like buy a house, or not even necessarily a house, but buy like a condo that is also a studio. And then I also need to start like really paying my primary
people,
guys who
there's
like
that, yeah.
who like I've given them some money, but like they've definitely helped me more than I've paid them. They're like in it they're in it because they're in it for the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
And like I totally like I love that about them. They're totally making my dreams come true.
Right.
But like that's why it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
if
that
in
makes
50
sense.
years I still haven't given them anything for it,
Yeah.
I would be like, damn, like that kind of sucks.
Right.
But they know, goddamn, if you guys are watching this, they know that they're in it for the present moment. And yes, there might be more in the future, but there could also not be.
it could also
It could all fall apart.
Yeah.
It really could.
Yeah. Is that scary? Is that a scary thought that it's fragile? Does it feel fragile?
It doesn't feel as fragile as it used to. I
Yeah.
think when I first like went viral, when the balloon video first took off, I was really nervous about uploading my first non-balloon video
Right.
because like we did follow it up with a direct sequel,
Yeah.
and it was like just as popular, if not more popular. So it was like hell yeah. And then I uploaded a non-balloon video, and there were disappointed people. Some people liked it, whatever. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, after a few not good videos,
Right.
and like it's still going.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I can survive a bad
Well,
video.
And that's what's good about like the virality is that you're and even with your YouTube, right? You like you said, you already have dedicated fans.
Yeah.
So even if that fan base shrinks to half,
Yeah.
you can still like capitalize and make content directly for those people
Yeah.
that you know that they're gonna like, and then
Yeah.
and then build your own community, right?
Yeah.
And do it that way.
There are fans that are at least dedicated enough that they won't unsubscribe just because they didn't like one video.
Yeah. Right.
You know? So like that makes it less scary. That makes it feel more
Yeah.
sustainable.
For sure.
Like I'm building something that can't so easily be destroyed. Something that gets me really scared is when like
It's Sunday
get
and you haven't filmed it.
no, I mean no, that's only happened like once where I like literally need to pull it out of my ass. But
Yeah.
I guess I do have a contingency plan. I do have like old videos I could do like a break glass thing that I haven't had to do.
Yeah.
The only thing that could really mess me up would be like community guideline violation stuff.
Has that happened before?
I've gotten like warnings. I got a strike when I was initially uploading like old stuff. And it was like kind of a bullshit one, honestly. It was like my friend in college doing like a vague sexual gesture.
Okay.
But like he looks really young.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is a minor doing. I was like, he's in college, and it's like, no, it's like a comedy video, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was one I got, and then another one I got was for the comedy tutorial. I hand Cheeseman a gun, and I say, escalating the situation with reckless use of firearms is a technique that always yields results. And then I say, I recommend all comedians purchase a real immediately. And that line got me a warning.
I'm gonna have to beep it out of there.
I re-uploaded it without that line, and it was okay.
Oh wow.
Just that one.
Just the
the warning line.
Dang.
So I could still say escalating the situation with firearms. I could still hand a gun to Cheeseman and have him start shooting.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say the words I recommend.
I recommend.
I'm guessing that literally the phrase I recommend followed by dangerous thing is like something that flags it.
But other than that, nothing. And even if they took one video down, it's not gonna like ruin your entire channel, right?
No, they're pretty, like I got a warning for that, not even a strike. And then you also get 3 strikes. And then like warnings go away after a few months, and like we haven't got another one. So in a couple weeks, that warning will go away. Like I have it marked on my calendar the day that warning goes away. Because I'm like, all right, now we can fuck around again.
Yeah. I like how you're trying to push it.
I
like,
know.
yeah.
I think people respect it. I think
Yeah.
like the YouTube community is specifically.
Well, again, I mean,
like
that's
that.
the other people are trying to do TikTok stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
you
it's
get to-
like it's a place where I could stand out specifically to YouTube. It's
Yeah.
like let's poke at community guidelines and
Is the goal one day to make like bigger comedy movies?
I wouldn't say movies, but I would say like
Or
definitely
sketch comedy
longer.
shows?
Yeah, I would say longer stuff for sure. Whether it be longer sketches, I would love to make something more like of a story, like more like a sitcom almost
Sure.
kind of thing. You know, you're Always Sunny in Philadelphia's, your Workaholics. You know, something with a story.
With a story, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like I Think You Should Leave or something like that. Where
Yeah.
you can put a bunch of sketches together.
I think that like
And then you could have a through line too. Like you could have the balloon one come back, right?
100%.
And have that become like a through story, and then in between that, put a bunch
yes,
of little other fun stuff.
100. And I would love to do like more sketch compilations, but in the format of like an episode. Because you're right, you can do through lines, you can do part 2s.
Yeah.
You know what else you can do with that is you can have the audience's attention like a little bit longer at the beginning of a sketch because they're already watching a long thing and they
Right.
can't just swipe out of it.
Yeah.
So like say I'm doing a parody of a paper towel commercial.
Yeah.
I can start it with like a mess and someone saying like when you have kids, it can be hard to keep the house clean. Like, which is just a generic paper towel commercial
It's
line
not catching anybody.
to start it.
Right.
Yes. anyone who sees that on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram is scrolling up because they literally think it is an ad.
Right.
But like in the context of an episode of a sketch show,
Yeah.
it's setting the tone perfectly for the twist.
Yeah.
You
right,
know?
Right.
So that's something that always has annoyed me about the current format that I'm in, which is like you cannot really establish a serious tone because people literally do need to know that it's comedy from the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
But like I said, YouTube a little bit less because they're more like cognizant of the channel that they're watching.
The context.
Yeah.
So, is there anything? I guess this is a general question. If there's not an answer, but like, is there anything that you think your fans would like to know about your channel that they might not glean just from the videos?
That's a good question. I don't know what they would like to know, but what I would like them to know is that it's still a very low budget production
Right.
at this point. And it's going to get bigger, but it is still at this point like just me, my friends who are helping me, and like that's it. And we're living in a house together, and there's 2 cats, and it's really annoying. And like we do not have a studio. We do not have everyone's who's in the videos is working full-time jobs, you know, like it is still at the beginning.
Do you have sketches planned for when you have a bigger production?
Yeah, I definitely have like I said, I would like to do more of like a story-based sitcom kind of thing, but I don't have like a specific. I have some bigger ideas, but
Sure.
a lot of people, I think my main fans, they often ask for like movies because I do a lot of fake movie trailers.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, make a Balloon Boys movie, make a Crazy Daisy movie, and it's like, you don't really get how this only works. Like, this only works because it's not
A 6-second.
Yeah. Like we like to imply that there's all this other lore. We like to imply that there's like all this other stuff going on. Like that's fun.
That's
And
what I thought you were
feel
gonna
it.
drop, like some background.
Yeah.
Boys or
We're
some
making
shit.
a Balloon Boys movie.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Because think about it. What do they even do? Like, there's
You
nothing.
created physics. You're like testing the physics of this.
Yeah. Right. So it's like I would rather keep a lot of that stuff highly optimized. I have like vague movie ideas, vague short ideas, vague special ideas.
And as is, you're so preoccupied with trying to just get the next video out every week. It's so hard to focus on
that's the
anything
thing.
else.
That's the thing. So it's like that's probably the biggest thing I've been struggling with is how to take it to the next level while maintaining my consistency with what I'm currently doing.
And that probably comes back to like, because if you paid an editor and paid people that could film it and then, have them understand your vision, then you could probably pump those out and not have to worry about it as much.
I think so, maybe. Yeah, it'd be really hard to pay an editor to do that.
Oh, yeah, and I'm saying, maybe.
No,
that's
not just from a money perspective, but from a like communicating my vision perspective.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Like,
because I'm really like perfectionist, like to a degree where like I'm not gonna put an editor through that. I'll re-export a video because one syllable of one word was slightly quieter, and like I want that one syllable to be louder. I am not gonna email somebody like, can you make this one syllable louder? Like I just don't want to put someone through that. So like it's got to be that part. Probably has to be me. But what I do think is the next step to me is like getting some sort of space, a studio space, probably that I live in. Like I kind of I'm looking at like a condo that's
like the best way to do it, I think. Yeah, at this level.
Exactly.
Right?
So it'll be like my house that I live in is mostly like my bed in a corner, and then it's like a studio.
Yeah.
And I think that will make production of the shorts easier enough that I can start to like expand in what I make because. The space is always the most complicated aspect. It's the most time, not time consuming. It's like the most time constrained aspect. Let's say, for example, if I'm filming something that needs to look like it's a storefront or something, we can only film in this bar or in this place from Sunday from 12 to 3.
Yeah.
So all week, I'm already ready to film it. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
All week I'm just like waiting to film that. But like if I had my own space, I would spend all day Thursday setting it up. We'd film it on Friday. I'd like get ahead of it.
Yeah.
So like having your own space is so critical in that way. Like the idea is ready. We just need the pieces to fall into place now.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest pieces that is like so dictated by the outside world is like when and where
When and where, for
you can
sure.
film it.
Well,
So, like,
location is always the biggest thing in film, I
It's-
think, because
it's really-
you usually have to pay, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have to make sure if it's a business front that they're not open,
Yes.
yeah, that the lighting is daytime, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and stuff
right.
like that.
Exactly. So it needs to sync up in like a multitude of ways.
Right.
I will say that one cool thing is that I've definitely built up a sort of like bank of locations just like around my house and in
The
Manayunk.
playground.
Yeah, exactly. If I need a playground, I already know which playground I'm using.
Yeah.
I know like a playground where there's never any people there.
Right.
You know, if I need an epic location, we have this big bridge that we live next to.
Yeah.
If I need like a really undisclosed remote location, I know of like this other bridge that if we go there at night, everything's dark around us. Like we
Ooh.
film there a lot.
Yeah.
It's really satisfying to write out a sketch and then look at like where all the scenes are and then not even need to be like, where am I going to film this? Be like, oh, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow,
Right.
like just having that knowledge is
Yeah.
like ridiculously valuable. And like a lot of times just filming in my living room is a huge pain because there's 3 other people living in my house
Yeah.
and they didn't sign up for me completely rearranging the living room and like keeping it that way.
Yeah.
So like I need to be cognizant of that, like rearrange it in a way that's not going to completely fuck up everyone's day
Yeah.
and then put it all back and just like the setup and breakdown process
Yeah.
is like, well, now that's like most of my day is just setting up and breaking down where like I could have just done it so relaxed on Wednesday, you know, or
Yeah.
on Thursday because if I had my own.
Your own little space.
So 100% that is like the next thing.
Yeah.
Is
Get in
like
the studio.
Getting the studio
Yeah,
space,
yeah,
100%.
I think that'll help so much for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, it is of at least with the film sets that I've been on. That is what takes that's what the
Yes.
timing
The
is.
setting up.
the setting up, the
Yeah.
lighting. So you could have a set lighting.
Already,
Yeah,
when the
already.
actors show up, it's already like we're ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go. Yeah.
That's like
always
that
the
is
biggest thing.
that's the dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Seemed
Well,
like
yeah.
you had this all set up. when
Yeah,
I
that's
got
what I'm saying.
here.
We're in my house right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
in the
yeah.
basement. Don't look over there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But storage is and then a storage as well. Like
Storage, true.
since I'm living with 3 other people, they're all musicians, so
no.
there's instruments everywhere.
Can't
we got
keep props anywhere in this.
Oh
house.
my god. And I am taking up so much space with props and costumes. But like random example, I would love to buy a suit of armor,
Mm,
but like where am I going to keep a suit of armor?
yeah.
But like God, a suit of armor would be so cool to have, dude.
It would be so, even if we don't use it, I just want one. Yeah. All right, question
Yeah.
for the people.
Yeah.
Is it the same person playing the Cheese Man all the time, or is it?
Cheese Man is a real being.
Real
he's
person.
he's a real entity. No, it's a different person. It's a different person. There's like my main 2 friends, Johnny and Brian. They're like the 2 guys who help on pretty much every sketch. Sometimes I only need one of them. Sometimes, you know, if they're not available, I'll get somebody else and I'll figure it out. But they're just like so always down. Johnny's the guy with the long hair. Brian's the guy who like will always play a cop. He's got the short blonde hair. And that's another thing of like I said about the locations.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with actors. Where
Having
like
people, you know.
having people, yes, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, who's going to be the cop? Obviously, Ryan. Who's going to be, this guy?
Yeah.
Obviously, John. Like, it's just like
Yeah.
sometimes it's like less to think about when you just have people who you can typecast in certain roles.
Who's gonna be the cute hunky bastard? Oh, Jamie Fitz. of course.
Exactly. Yeah. Jamie, who's available? Jamie Fitz.
Damn.
Dude, no, but I love Jamie for that.
Jamie's great.
Jamie is always my first choice because he doesn't ask what the sketch is. He's just like,
Sure.
I give him a time and a place, and he's like, yeah, okay. And like it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep asking you because I don't have to answer a bunch of questions.
Right.
Like he's just gonna fucking show up. I'm like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Um,
And that's like going back to the beginning bookend, the
Yeah.
collaboration aspect.
Exactly.
That's where once you actually have people that you can rely on,
Yeah.
even though I mean you had to build that trust, right?
Yes.
And you had to build it yourself.
Yeah.
But then once you get to that place where you have people you can rely on,
It's great.
it's the best. It really,
It's really the best.
they
Yeah.
making a vision happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
together.
before I had any videos, I could not just text a random comedian and they'll just show up and be in whatever the hell I'm putting them in.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they need to like see like, oh, he makes like quality videos.
Yeah.
Like whatever this is, it'll be good enough to put my name on it or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Brian and Johnny are the 2 main guys, and they'll whoever wants to be Cheese Man will be.
It would be the Cheese Man.
Yeah, the
Cool.
Cheese Man can be anybody.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to maybe wrap it up.
Okay.
If, yeah, I think unless there's anything that
Hell
you
yeah, dude.
maybe did again is that you
No,
think that we didn't cover.
dude, I just went off. I feel like I was like rambling the whole time.
No,
This
it's
is good.
perfect.
All right, good.
Yeah,
good,
it's
good. I
perfect.
only wanted to ask you a few questions.
Oh, okay.
Just like curious, like, did you
Sure.
go to film school?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Did you go to college or?
Yeah, I went to college for like hospitality.
Okay.
And then I wanted to be in entertainment. So I was like, oh, I'll do stand up to get into entertainment. And
Okay.
then you do stand up and you're like, oh, this isn't the same industry at all as
Right.
like film.
Yeah.
And then I went to acting class for a little bit, met people that with resources and good actors, and then made some short films.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you like kind of got into the world of
Yeah.
or you've always like kind of wanted to be in the world of it though.
Well,
'Cause,
again,
like,
it's like I think, and just like this podcast is for creatives. And
Yeah.
like I've always just been obsessed with the idea of creativity, and
Okay.
I like what you said about writing earlier, how that's just pure creativity.
yeah.
Because that's my favorite thing. I
Yeah.
love writing. So I've been writing scripts and stuff since I was, and stand up bits and stuff since
Yeah.
like 16.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
stuff
mean,
like
that's
that.
when the idea is perfect, you know? That's like when it's all you have total control over it at that point.
Yeah.
There's no like
It's not untainted by reality.
yeah, by reality, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, first the idea is absolutely perfect in your head, and one of the hardest parts about writing is like making it less perfect by writing it down. Because once you write it down, it becomes a little less perfect. And then sometimes you get other stuff out of it though, and then you get something you're happy with. And then when you actually film it, it kind of, things don't go the way you plan exactly. Some things could be even better than you thought, but
yeah.
it becomes a little less perfect there.
Yeah.
And then editing is like when you make it what it really
Destroy it. Yeah.
is. No, you save it.
Yeah, you're right. You save it.
You save it. You save whatever that mess you got.
Yeah. You break it down and build it back up
Exactly,
from-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I was just curious.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So that's how I got here, and it's worked for me so far. Not really, because I'm still here, but
Yeah,
we're still
yeah,
in a
yeah.
hot basement. I can't keep the AC on.
Yeah. It's not too bad, though.
It actually did. I thought I was gonna be dripping. By
Yeah,
some days.
I am glad that it kind of maintained a good level of temperature this whole
I
time.
agree. So let's do the shouts out. Cheese, do you want to?
Cheese Parade on
Parade.
YouTube. Follow Cheese Parade on YouTube. You can also follow cheeseparade.tv on Instagram. But YouTube pays better, so I want you to go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And just Cheese Parade on TikTok, which is the worst, so I don't want you to go on TikTok. TikTok is run by the Chinese government.
It's a spyware.
Low-key fucking hate TikTok, but
yeah.
YouTube, awesome. So follow Cheese Parade on YouTube. New sketch every Monday.
New sketch every Monday.
And that's what they say. That's what they're going to say in the comment section. You're going to see. And haven't missed a week in 2.5 years. I'm going to see how long that goes for.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
yeah.
see.
2 years is long. So.
Now it's like one of those things where it's like the longer it gets, the more you don't want it to end.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The longer the streak. That's how they get you with like Duolingo and stuff.
Yeah,
That's how they got
yeah.
you with content creation. for
Yeah,
sure.
100%.
Now you're an addict of
I
creating.
know. Yeah. You got to put
creating
something out.
bits.
It's nice, though. It's nice.
Yeah.
Mondays are nice. Having put something
Ah.
out, being like,
Getting to relish in it.
yeah, and then I have at least like 2 days before I really need to like think of something else, you know?
Yeah. I feel that. Cool,
I'm
man.
just-
Well,
yeah.
I'll give you a little cheers.
Hell yeah, man.
Thanks for
It's
coming
fun.
on.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Hell yeah. Bye, everyone. God, I love hearing myself talk.
Me too. That's why I do this.